Hello everybody, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yugioh VRains review. I will be reviewing episode 2 of Yugioh VRains. Now again, normally I like to show like a 30-second clip, but because copyright is still kind of a gray area right now with Yugioh VRains since it's the start of the show, we're just going to get right into the review. So, cannot wait to talk to you all down below. There were some really awesome scenes. Generally speaking, it was another really good episode. There was a lot of just interesting dialogue between Yusaku and Ignis especially. We got an amazing flashback scene that is a scene that I'll probably focus on for like 3 minutes in this review, and I really want to get your guys' take on it because it is a very interesting and confusing scene, and all in all, it was just another really solid episode to what's been a really good start for Yugioh VRains. So the episode begins, Yusaku and the Knight are about to do a speed duel, and this is kind of like the Duel Links format, so you only have 3 monster zones, you only have 3 spell and trap zones, and you only start with 4 cards in your hand. I personally have never played Duel Links. It's the mobile game. Apparently it's really good. I might try it out some point in the future, but that's why the format is different. Now, it's only like that for speed duels. Regular standing duels, to my knowledge, will have the normal format, so that's just something to keep in mind. And the speed duel is just using the data wind and surfing on the D-board like they do in this episode. So Ignis, the mysterious life form, is talking to Yusaku about all the new rules, or all the different rules between this and like a standing duel, and the banter between him and Yusaku is absolutely hilarious. And I love how he refers to Yusaku as Great Sir Playmaker throughout this like entire episode. Just really funny dialogue between him and the AI, and that is, it's well needed because this show definitely does have a lot more darker tones than we have seen recently with Arc 5 and Zexal, and that is, and you kind of need that comedic relief, and the AI really provides it so far, so I'm really loving the banter between Yusaku and the AI. The Knight kicks off the duel by summoning 2 monsters. He's able to special summon 1 monster because Yusaku doesn't have any monsters on his field, and he gets 2 of the same monsters out, and it's so great, and this is what Arc 5 has done to me. Like, the second he gets these 2 monsters out, I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna construct the overlay network, he's gonna XZ summon, and we're gonna, have that other summoning methods not in the show be put to rest right away. No, that's not the case. Obviously, he tribute summons and he gets his cracking dragon out, which probably everyone except me saw coming. Not that I didn't see it coming, but I thought it would have been a cool moment to have him, like, XZ summon right off the bat, and I think it would have been too complicated. I'm kind of glad he didn't. I still do hope we get other summoning methods. I know we did have that Zodiac monster that was shown in the first episode, but there was a tuner monster shown in the first episode of Zexal. We never got synchros, so we still kind of have to hold back our saying that there's definitely going to be other summoning methods here, and just hope that we do see the other summoning methods. But this duel did not have any, obviously, but he immediately gets a 3,000 attack cracking dragon out on the field right away, and the only way it can be destroyed is if you battle it with another monster that has the same level. It can't be destroyed by monsters with lower levels. So Yusaku already in a bit of a hole, and we see his hand, and his hand is pretty cheeks. He's got 2 trap cards, a spell, and a monster. So he sets the 2 trap cards and he summons Cyburst Wizard, and everyone has a reaction when he summons this Cyburst monster. Like, the Knights are like, Revolver I think says something along the lines of, oh, I thought we got rid of all the Cyburst monsters. I guess there's still one out there. And Akira even says, why the hell does he have Cyburst monsters? So that's a very interesting thing. Obviously, these monsters could be linked to the Cyburst that the Knights are trying to destroy and that Soul Technology are trying to save. We don't know what really role the Cyburst is going to play in the overarching plot. If it's good, if maybe the Knights destroying it is a good thing for society, or if maybe the Knights destroying it is a bad thing for society. We're just going to have to wait and see until we get more motivations and more backstories surrounding these characters. But Yusaku summons Cyburst Wizard. He takes some damage thanks to Cracking Dragon's effect. Yusaku does lower the Knight of Hanoi's life points to 3,000 because Cyburst Wizard, he switched it to defense mode, and Cyburst Wizard inflicts piercing damage. So he gets 1,000 points on the Knight, but he ends his turn, and the Knight takes his turn. And now, this is interesting because we get skills, and you guys who play Duel Links, let me know if this is a thing in Duel Links, but this is something that I kind of actually really like. I like this as a gimmick compared to the speed counters in 5Ds and the action cards, especially in Arc 5. I mean, they could have done really anything and I would have liked it more than the action cards, but it seems like everyone is able to use a skill. Here's what Ignis says. He says, in a speed duel, there is a special rule that can only be used once during the duel. That's what a skill is. You can increase your draws, gain life, or increase your monster's attack, stuff like that. So the Knight of Hanoi activates a skill that Ignis has never heard of, and that Playmaker, well, he didn't even know what skills were, which is double double draw, and the Knight of Hanoi draws 2 cards, and everyone, again, is just kind of shocked. And he uses a magic card, DDoS Attack. He sends 2 copies of it to the graveyard, and he inflicts a crazy amount of damage to Yusaku. He nails Yusaku. I think it was 1,600 points. Now, here it was a great scene. Yusaku goes flying off his D-board, and who saves him but Aoi Zaizen. Now, I was harsh on Aoi in my last review, which I apologized for in my pinned comment, because I thought about it in hindsight, and I was like, there's nothing she could have done. Had she turned around to face the knight that was attacking her, she would have just been scorched to a crisp. Like, the knight was not looking to duel. The only reason Yusaku was able to stop this knight was because he had the AI hostage. So, I was unfairly harsh on Aoi, but I did say, you can't really judge it because Aoi might repay the debt 3 or 4 episodes down the road, and that's exactly what happens, and it's funny because that's her exact line, I've repaid my debt. So Aoi, the Blue Angel, saves Yusaku. Very good sign for her character. In fact, I can't even remember when a female character saved a male character in a situation like this. I mean, maybe it was when Aki saved Yusei in the truck. Remember when they kidnapped Yusei and Aki? That was Sherry was in, that was a weird episode, man. That was a weird episode. Aki broke through the truck with, like, Black Rose Dragon, and then the truck went off an embankment, and then they met Sherry LeBlanc. That was a really weird episode, but that's the last time I can remember a female character saving a male. So that is a good sign for Aoi. Really good sign for Aoi. Really good sign for the writers. Props to Yoshida there for making Aoi relevant and paying back the debt. And again, I was a little harsh on her in episode 1, but even if you're very harsh on her for that first episode, which I think is a little unfair to be, she gets it back right here. So you can't take anything away from her there. So really good writing, really good storytelling, really good interaction between Aoi and Yusaku. And why this is so important is that then the AI goes, if you fall to the ground, you die. Your real body will die. And when I saw that, and then the knight, I think, said, oh, you just escaped death, you're lucky. And when I saw that, I was like, wait a second. Does that mean that the people we saw in the first episode actually die? Like, the people that were scorched to a crisp actually die in real life? Because if that's the case, Yugioh VRains has the potential to be one of the darkest, if not the darkest Yu-Gi-Oh show we have seen by far. They are already killing off characters in the second episode. Yusaku and Aoi have already saved each other's lives, and that's important, and I'm going to get to the flashback scene, and I'm going to kind of make a little theory here in the mid-review and tie it all in, but that was a really good scene. And so, the data storm then becomes unstable, and Yusaku, you know, the Knight of Hanoi and Yusaku are having a little banter, and the Knight is saying, okay, well, it looks like you're done. And Yusaku and Playmaker's like, what do you mean? I still have life points. And the Knight's like, oh, I guess you don't understand. And you see the tornado of the data storm. Playmaker gets swallowed by it, and she, you know, Naoki and Kusanagi, who are all watching on. Besides that scene with Aoi, we really didn't get much from anyone else, except Go said, that bastard is stealing the spotlight from me, which shows that Go is maybe a little more conceited than his initial summaries said, which not a trait I like in people, so we'll see about that. That was an interesting line from Go. I believe he did call Yusaku a bastard, if I remember the subs correctly. And so Yusaku's in the data storm, and Ignis says, you know, I led you here on purpose, which Yusaku kind of figured that out. And in these data storms, there's monsters, and you can summon the monsters the more intense data storm is, and we find out this is how Playmaker gets Decode Talker, and this was an awesome scene. But the really, really awesome scene is when Yusaku talks about 3 reasons, and I guess this is his catchphrase, and that's awesome because, you know, in the past we've had Gotcha with Judai, we've had Katabingo with Yuma, we've had, you know, Egao with Yuya, but here or the fun has just begun, but here we have Yusaku talking about 3 reasons in different situations and giving 3 reasons and actually giving substance, and I like that a lot as kind of his catchphrase. I don't think it's corny at all. I actually really like it. And he goes, there's 3 reasons why I must win this duel. And we see the flashbacks, and let me tell you something. There is no coincidence that there are 6 children being saved from the forest in this flashback. There's no coincidence that there are 6 birds in the opening. There's no coincidence that there are 6 AIs. And there's no coincidence that there are 6 chess pieces. The king, the queen, the knight, the bishop, the rook, and the pawn. And it is only a matter of time before these six children who had their past stolen away by SOL technology verse each other. Maybe 20 or 30 episodes down the road, but that is my prediction. Whatever reason, it had to have something to do with the Cyberse. These 6 children, we see Yusaku, I would bet a lot of money that Aoi Zaizen is there, that Go Onizuka is one of those children, that Revolver is possibly one of those children, maybe even Kusanagi. I find it more interesting that we just got info that Aoi and Akira era, the Zaizens don't have parents. Their parents, we got that in information a couple of days ago, they don't have parents. They live by themselves without their parents. And these seem to be, whether it's from an orphanage, whether it's from a daycare, whether it's from a kindergarten, we don't really know. Or maybe it's just they were abandoned in the woods and never had parents or something really bizarre like that. But for some reason, they are linked to the AIs, these 6 characters. And Soul Technology tried to, I think, kill them and take away the AIs. That's very grim because obviously at this point they're like 9 or 10 years old. Soul Technology will stop at nothing to make their business a success. And that is going to boil over. And these 6 are going to go after the chess pieces to take back their lost time. Yusaku's 3 reasons. He wants to reclaim his lost time. He wants to rescue Kusanagi's brother from the darkness. And we actually see, I think this is Kusanagi's brother chilling in a weird room. Maybe he's in prison somewhere. I don't really know. And then number 3, so I can meet the person who gave me courage. And we hear someone say, "Hey you," to Yusaku, a young Yusaku. And I guess that's the person he's talking about. I don't really know. And then Yusaku yells and he summons, he uses the power Storm Access, that's his skill, and he summons Decode Talker, and he goes on to win the duel. But this is, I know I just summed up the last like 5 minutes in one sentence, but this is the part that really, really intrigues me. What the hell is going on in this background? Just keep looking for those 6s, because the 6s right now are the extreme symbolism in Yugioh VRains. We had, again, the 6 birds. Now we have 6 children in this, and I'm telling you, these children are Yusaku. They're Aoi, they're Go. I'm just, again, that's of course my prediction, but I'm just curious as to why they all lost their memories. But remember in 5Ds, Yusei said something very interesting to Aki at the end of their duel. He said, "Don't you think there's more going on here? That fate has brought us all together. That fate introduced me to the Ru and Ruka, the twins. That fate is, putting us up against Jack Atlas and putting us all in one place, and that these birthmarks represent something more than just a coincidence or more than just pain." Something along those lines. Aoi and Yusaku have now saved each other's lives in the first 2 episodes. There is a bigger power going on here that is just like the Crimson Dragon did, just like the Sign or Birthmarks did, that is pulling together these 6 children, and they are going to form a team, and they are going to take down Soul Technology. That's what I believe anyway. So the episode ends with Yusaku, and I want to hear all your thoughts about not only the episode, but especially about that flashback, the most interesting scene easily in the episode for me. Yusaku wins the duel. The duel was it was good. The duel was good. It was good for a first episode duel. I wish they told us a little more about Link summoning, maybe about how Link summoning was created, but you know what? I'm probably asking too much. We'll probably get that very soon. In the preview, we see Revolver breaking through with his dragon. We just got info on his new dragon. It's like Lord Barrel Dragon. It's like a gun dragon. I forget the name of it, but maybe I'll do a separate video covering that. And we know Yusaku is most likely going to duel Go. We see Go and Aoi look a little upset, maybe because they had the spotlight stolen from them by an unknown person in Playmaker. Who really knows? Episode 3 should be really, really awesome. But guys, that about wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching. I don't want to ramble on like I did with the first episode. Please let me know all your thoughts down below. I had a lot of fun making this review, as always. I will talk to you down below. As always, I hope you enjoyed the episode like I did, and I hope you enjoyed the review as well. Have an amazing day, everyone. Thank you, as always, for watching. I will see you next time.